Roger Federer only won 54% of the points he played. The biggest thing for him is you forget about missing that last point, because if you dwell on the last point missed, it's going to affect your next point. And then, so even like the like best people to ever play the game of tennis are winning only just over half of the points. The mindset
is everything.
It's what goes on up here. I mean,
that makes you or break you, right?
That's it. Yeah.
Hey guys, today we have a special episode. It's a 16-year anniversary with Bentley Lewis. And we just want to have a one-to-one conversation of what's been happening.
Perfect.
What's the journey?
Hit me.
What's the mindset?
Hit me. Let's go.
Where are we going today?
Let's do it.
So Lewis, when you started, it was just you. Now it's a global team across 3 regions. At what point did you stop feeling that it was your business and start feeling like it was a firm? And what has leading a fully remote team taught you, and what didn't you expect?
So I don't know if it probably doesn't ever not feel like your thing. But when I started on my own, you don't really have a business. I think you're more of like a sole trader. So you kind of start working longer and harder for less money than you were before. And you're just on your own. So you're doing like everything: cleaning, recruiting, HR. But like literally you're doing everything yourself. And I read this book before I started called The E-Myth Revisited by Robert Gerber. And it's this book about like building a business. And like the good analogy is like you're in a bakery and you're like baking the cakes, baking the bread, all of that, and you're selling them. And then at some point to like start to build a proper business or firm, you have to start to hire people to do different types of jobs. And then you start to build like a firm, a company, a business, whatever you want to call it. And then suddenly it starts to take off. And then it's not just you. And it's not just you trying to make money for yourself. You've got like people to support, people working with you, shared goal, everyone trying to pull together and do the same thing. And then it starts to evolve. And then it just takes on a life of its own then. And it's crazy. It's really interesting. But the feeling still remains of like, building and stuff. Because the type of business that we do, we're a services business. It is quite different to like a tech firm where you have to like go and raise money. So some other businesses are quite capital intensive. Whereas like our business is like, it's consulting, it's people. So it's quite different building it. And it's been like a really interesting journey doing it. To your other question of like remote. So we were like fully in the office up until like 2021 probably. Like obviously COVID hit and then it was in and out of lockdowns and stuff like that. The first remote employee we had was in 2019 when we set up in America. Yeah, and then just started to evolve. And then a few of our team wanted to live in different countries. And it was over COVID and we were like, yeah, no problem. And then we started to hire people in different places and then it started to like evolve like that. And then we got rid of our office. So suddenly you're saving money, no rent. The people that you're hiring obviously need to be able, like need to want to work in a fully remote because it's not for everyone. You think it's super cool. And I think over COVID, like everyone was like, this is great. But then when you speak to people, everyone wants to work fully remote. A lot of people like to go to an office or they like the human contact. Others love the fully remote. So you got to find the right people that suit. Like we hired someone a few years ago, a good friend of mine, and he just was like 6 months in, he was like, I just want to meet you for a beer after work, and like have that. So it doesn't suit everyone, but for us, it's been really good. We've had access to like better people, like better quality. If your talent pool is global, then you've got much more choice. And yeah, it's been a really interesting evolution.
I think the most important thing is you created this amazing culture and like an internal community that we didn't really have.
Yeah. So I think you have to be introspective, don't you? Whether you're a leader, whether you're like an individual contributor or whatever, because you want to keep on learning and developing and stuff like that. And when you're leading, or whether you're or if you're a founder, either you have to like have call it like a personal board of directors thing, like people that you can ask for advice, talk about leadership and stuff. Also ask your team how things are going. Do they want to change anything? How, those kinds of things. And then like you obviously, well, not obviously, but I look at, all the different industries and like what makes a good leader. Or you always take bits of people, right? Or you watch a podcast, watch how they talk, how they've been leading. Like the one guy I've been watching a lot, who I think's been done incredible, is Jensen Huang from NVIDIA. And you hear about his story and how he's built NVIDIA and how it almost like went under a bunch of times, and then now it's the most valuable company on the planet. And the way he talks, you can take little bits from that, or even just someone that, well, sports are a really good example, And then the leadership thing is like moving from I, which is like I started on my own, so it's all about I, and then it becomes about we, and then trying to make sure that you're supporting your team so they're doing well, because if they do well, we all do well, and things like that. So it's definitely like an ongoing journey, and you're never quite like, it's just constant, like, and you also have lots of different people. Everyone likes to be dealt with differently. We have a different relationship with different people. And some people need support in other areas and some support in this area. I mean, it's like a whole, so it's never like an answer, and there's probably never a perfect thing, right? And there's also leaders for certain times and certain moments, probably, like difficult times, good time, there's all of this kind of like just thing. So I think for me, I've learned to flow over the last 16 years of just, there's like, because in business, it's like good and bad all the time. Like that's business. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's difficult. When it's good, it's pretty, it's easy when it's going well. Although actually it's very easy to also like just get a little bit complacent when it's easy. And when it's difficult, there's less sales or less money. You can't, all of those kind of things. So you got to kind of like feel it and flow. And then as you experience all these different scenarios, you like learn more. And then
it sounds like leadership is not for everyone. You've got to have a certain mindset to be involved in that kind of like world.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, it's really going well, and then you got like financial crisis, and then it's going well, and you got COVID, and then it's going well, and you've got like something else, or like all the conflict going on now, and then that's like, and then you got, it's just like constant up and down. But that is business. It's never always good. It's never always bad. So you got to be like your mood and your like, you got to be kind of like quite, I never get too up or too down.
How do you get to that state though?
Do a hard workout, good hard CrossFit workout. I don't know, maybe it's probably a bit of both. I'd say like, nature, nurture kind of thing. Maybe it's in my DNA. Like generally optimistic about things. Most of my lens on most things is tilted to like optimism, not pessimism. And then I work in it a lot. Like I think the gym and stuff like that. I do a lot of like workouts. Like there's nothing quite like a hard workout. If you can do a hard workout in the morning, nothing else in that day is like as hard. So and if you're feeling like good, do a workout. If you're feeling really bad, go do a workout. If you're feeling like whatever, go and do a workout, because then you get moving, stretching, get heart rate up. All of that is like really good for business and for life. And then also I think just looking at being like introspective about, well, how could I have done better in this scenario, that scenario, things like that.
When leaders or companies, they go through hardship, how do they kind of like recover and move forward with optimism? It's like you're still going, moving forward with, I can do this. Yes, you are cautious, but you're still moving forward with big leaps. You don't have that barrier about you.
Well, I mean, if you're not optimistic about the future, then is there even a future?
Yeah, I mean,
like
it's like that tennis analogy, right?
Roger Federer.
Yeah.
Big
example.
Roger Federer only won 54% or something of the points he played. And that's the same with there's a percentage difference, but all of the top tennis players now, if you look at the percentage of points they win. And he did this speech, one of the university speeches in America, and he was like, the biggest thing for him is you forget about missing that last point, because if you dwell on the last point missed, it's going to affect your next point. And then, So even like the like best player people to ever play the game of tennis are winning only just over half of the points. It's crazy. So you imagine can you imagine it's tiring, right? Every point you miss, you're like, you're smashing racket and whatever. The next point comes, you're still remembering the old one. So the mindset.
Mindset is everything.
It's what goes on up here. I mean,
That makes you or break you, right?
That's it. Yeah.
Okay, so I have another question for you. What has running a business for 16 years taught you about leadership that placing leaders never could?
Yeah, well, placing leaders is different because you're trying to, match humans and assess, analyze whether these people are going to work well together. Also we're finding the right people, we're convincing them to leave their perfectly good jobs, we're assessing them and all this kind of stuff. And actually you learn a lot from that because I learned so much from conversation. So going back to I learn a lot from looking at different leaders. You learn like loads. And the interesting conversations I've had, it's probably like a million MBAs of like speaking to a leader, asking about their journey, what they've done here, there, all of that kind of stuff. So you learn an awful lot. But there's nothing quite like learning through experience, of like something, again, like COVID, for example. COVID comes, no sales in, and you're like, how much cash have we got? What's the cash flow like?
What do you
Can we pay salaries? Can we not? Do we have to get rid of anyone? Can we keep, all of that. You can't, there's just no better learning than doing. I think that in most things. So until you experience something, having to make payroll every month, trying to win a pitch or losing a pitch or losing more pitches than you win, and you're like, so until you experience like just everything that goes with leading people, running a business, then it's different. It's like being in the classroom versus being,
Yeah.
So it's all good stuff.
You've got to apply the knowledge.
But you just got to be on it. Yeah. There's just nothing quite like the feeling in the stomach of doing something like that.
Absolutely. You've spoken openly about using AI across business. What has it generally changed for you, and what hasn't changed at all?
AI, I think AI is like any. I think I've always loved using new tools, technology. Love trying new stuff. Always thinking about a better way of doing something or how we can improve our processes, improve outcomes for our customers, all of that. And AI is like incredible for that. So just like we used the internet, or when LinkedIn came, we started using LinkedIn, or whatever. All of these new tools. AI has been great, and we've built a whole bunch of agents to help all of us in our team do their work better and more efficiently. It's really helped to deliver better outcomes in our searches, better analysis, like just everything. So it's much like anything. If you're not using the best tools available, you're just going to fall behind, whether you're a business or a human. So it's an absolute no-brainer. And AI, it's transforming the way like individuals work on an individual level, how productive they are. Or some people are just like, I was speaking to a friend of mine yesterday after football, and he was just like, in his business, he's got quite a large business, and he can just see it in people's eyes. They're just like, they just don't want to. They don't want to start learning new stuff. Some people are just like, they're looking at it and they're like, they're honest, like AI or just automating the work they do is going to take away 80% of the work that they actually do themselves, and then trying to imagine what they're going to do now with the 80% of the time back is quite tiring or daunting to a lot of people. So there's a lot of people, they're just like, oh my God. If you're one of those people, it's not that hard. You can just get onto it. It's really interesting. So whatever stage of your career you're at, if you have like this mindset of like, you want to continue developing, you want to keep learning, you want to try new stuff, any age. I mean, we've got a whole age range in our team, and everyone's into it. Yeah. Everyone's trying stuff, building agents. We're using Claude, we're using Gemini. We've built a few OpenClaw agents. So everyone is they're on a journey of like reimagining what their work and their daily tasks look like. yeah, I mean, it's really exciting. But again, it depends on your perspective. Some
Yeah.
people are like,
I think it's the mindset of like, AI versus human thing.
but it's
Like,
not AI or though, is it? It's like,
Yeah,
if you look at it, if someone looks at it like AI is taking away,
But that's
it's
the,
part
that's
of-
the mindset of, it's like you mentioned previously of your friend. People are worried, they don't want to lean into that. Is it because of the fact that they're afraid, one, either their job's going to be taken, or they're just scared of something that they're not really have understood?
both.
Like,
Yeah. I mean,
And-
imagine the combine
yeah.
harvester coming down the track and you're there in the fields and stuff and you're like, that's not going to take my job. And you know it's going to take the job. You know, there's some jobs where they're going to change.
Yeah.
But again, I think there's so many incredible opportunities coming. That's my optimism of the future. And then look back maybe just when the internet started and all these jobs that were created from the internet. So I think there's going to be an incredible amount of new stuff coming. But yeah, some things are going to change. So again, it all depends how you look at it, right?
Yeah. I think it's just the human element, as in like, yes, there is like an open space of new inventions that we can kind of lean into, but people get scared like, oh, but you're not showing your personality anymore. But we kind of like balance that. We're using AI as a tool just to be more human, because we are a service business and people buy from people, and that is our first kind of like,
Yeah.
it's just more of getting people to understand that it's not really taking over you, it's helping you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In our business, we're placing humans with other humans, and all of the tools we use help us do that job better. So assessing leaders, finding them, communicating, even just creating all of our like documents, presentations, assessments. We've got so much data. It's really enabled us to like analyze, assess, and get insights from the data much better than we could otherwise, or we were before. But forgetting our industry or our business, there's so many businesses and industries that are affected differently. I mean, you could be sitting as a 18-year-old being like, what am I going to do now? Like the traditional graduate employers or employers are hiring less, maybe like accounting firms, law firms. Maybe you never suited to any of that. What are you going to do? And you could create you can go on Twitch and play games and get paid. You can like be a YouTuber and just crack the code like Mr. Beast did when he was like, 20 or 21,
Yeah.
and just kill it. You could literally create Optimus Prime, your AI agent, create like controlling your other 10 agents. And you could create like, I mean, there's a bunch of them already. You could create like $1 billion company just with you and like 2 or 3 other people. I think like anything, you have to like imagine. If you can imagine it today and you can speak English or whatever language, then you can go and create a product, a digital product. And if you don't know how to do it, you can go and ask your favorite LLM, and there's a little sounding board, and you create some cool stuff.
Yeah. I think that applies to everyone now, not
Everything.
just the new generation.
Everything. The barrier's gone the barrier is like,
It's super low now.
yeah, it's like basically you have like, Jensen Huang is another thing. He was like, you have like IQ's gone to like, it's commoditized now. You can have like a whole army of agents at your disposal, super smart. Like these agents are only getting smarter. They're like PhD level already, if not more. And the outcome's incredible. And these agents, like they continue learning. So like with our agent that we've been using on different stuff, the more input you give it, it remembers, it learns, it gets better, it improves, so an AI agent plus a human giving it, because we have our own knowledge and insights on different stuff, and you're teaching it, it remembers, it learns. Suddenly together, you're way better than if you were on your own.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think you've got to think of it like that. And if you're just burying your head in the sand, then look, also the other thing is that you can go be a plumber. But even if you're going to be a plumber, which is an incredible career, by the way, you can earn some great money. You can be a sole trader. There's a big demand for plumbers right now. You can still like grab your phone. You can get your like LLM. You can take a photo of the pipe maybe. It can give you some advice on to how to fix it. I mean, You can just use all of these tools, and they are so cheap.
Yeah, technologies change everywhere.
Everything.
Whatever industry you're using.
Yeah, like why would you not? Why would you not use it? I'm yet to hear of any reason why you would not use it to help you in your job or learning or whatever.
Unless it's like the fear of the unknown.
But that's not a good reason, though.
Yeah, but it's the mindset, and that's what stops people from moving forward and learning things and so forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. So you're 16 years in. Most boutique firms at this stage either sell, plateau, or reinvent. How do you think about where you are now today?
Yeah, I think there's been some good posts on this actually on LinkedIn. So if you think about even before I started Bentley Lewis, so when I was at my previous firm, in recruiting, a lot of people were like, their goal was to build a firm and sell it. That's basically the thing. Anyway, but if you fast forward now, the share prices of a lot of the big recruiters have like crashed. Even the search firms, the share price have gone down. A lot of firms have cut in our industry, and also with social media, with personal branding, using tools like AI, things like that. I think the optimal size of a firm now is a search firm. Anyway, is much smaller.
Why is that?
Because over the last, say, like 4 years, the markets have been very up and down. Lots of like macro stuff going on, which meant that, I mean, there were like from 23, like loads of redundancies, all the big tech firms, a lot of like VC-backed firms cut, went under. So it's been a very like transformational time, which has meant that, if there's not lots and lots of recruiting, then like if you're a big recruiting firm or search firm, so the difference obviously search firm is like it's retained search. So we get paid up front, or a third. We go and find people, it's headhunting. A lot of the searches we do are confidential. Whereas like with generalist recruiting firms, it's contingency, no placement, no fee. So if the volume of recruiting goes down, then obviously the volume of like revenue goes down. And if you're a big firm or you've got lots of costs, you need a lot more work to just break even. And so all you can do if your income goes down and your costs, which are salaries and rent, generally the biggest costs for a recruiting firm, you have to make cuts. So a lot of firms have made cuts over the last few years. And also in-house TA, you've seen a lot of cuts in-house as well. And also just work has been changing with AI and all of this kind of stuff. So we're in a very like transformational period. And you can see it if you see the share price of public recruiting firms go down, so you have to like adjust, reimagine what your firm might look like. You have to manage your costs. Otherwise it's game over. So yeah, you have to like roll with it. And that our industry is evolving. I think with exec search, we have a few like, I mean, the like trendy term is moats, right? But like, why would someone want to use us? And the confidential search stuff is really interesting. And most of our searches are confidential. And also when you are headhunting people, they're happily employed, not expecting your phone call, much less, they're not applying for ads. They're not responding to a competitor trying to call them and try and poach them. So, there's a bunch of reasons why you'd use a search firm. And then we do a lot of advisory work around it as well. So like, it's really interesting. But if things change completely next year or 2 years or in 5, again, you have to like, again, roll with it, adapt, evolve.
Where do you see Bentley Lewis going then? Because so much has changed and you said everything's evolving.
Everything changes, yeah. So like for us.
And we're a global firm as well. So that's a big deal of like a lot has happened.
Yeah, it's great. So I think boutique firms seem to have been flavour of the last few years. So a lot of companies that we speak to, they like to use boutique executive search firms for a bunch of reasons. Like I think people really like that we take ownership, responsibility. Our partners, so me or Dave or whoever, we're leading the searches. We have a team that are doing it with them, with us. We have agents helping our team, and we're there taking responsibility when it goes well, when it goes bad, and everything in between. And we're really on it. And so there's a whole bunch of reasons. The customer service is great. Again, in our industry, it's relationships. Most of our work is repeat business. So the way we deal with people really matters. The way we run the searches matters. We have a long-term view. So all of these things means that you're going to be, like, you're putting yourself in a good position to be around for hopefully a while. But then you also have to just think, you know, have to just adjust with what's going on, and just feel like what's the right number of people. Global is really interesting. We work for a lot of global firms. And so we're able to support our clients in any region, which has been really valuable to our customers, and they've used us all over the world. And that's been really nice. Also a lot of certainly like Middle East, we've done a lot in the UAE and Saudi last year. They wanted people from all over the planet, and we're able to source all over. So there's many like kind of things that we're able to do. How it's going to be in like 5 years, I have no idea. Like 5 years is so long. So you think about what's happened in the last 5 years, or even what's happened in the last year.
Yeah.
So like you can kind of imagine what the future might look like, but it's really hard to, because there's just so many like advances in tech. And
Where would you like to see Bentley Lewis?
I think like for me, like for work, I want to work with good people. So I'm like, you know, when you're in the game for a while, you just want to work with good folks. You want to work with clients that want to work with you. So other humans. You want to work with humans in your company that are positive, enjoy the work, want to be there, want to continue learning, try new stuff. Are happy with, or just appreciate also what the world is like. You know, it's not always great. It's not always bad. You know, you kind of also go with the like flow with the ups and downs of the world and life and things like that. Do a good job for customers and evolve with the businesses, because like we're finding people for companies, and as our clients evolve, they're looking for different types of people to join. You know, all these jobs also are changing. You know, a lot of people are like, if they're hiring someone, can they use AI? How are they using it, for example? You know, so the way we assess people is changing. The types of people that businesses are changing. So we change. So we're like evolving with every other company. And that's really exciting. And it's cool. And maybe, I don't know, like I think you just got to do the best you can with them.
And just like going back year by year, like what are you proud of? 16
Well, we're
years
still on the
in.
pitch. A lot of people told me after year one, most businesses failed, and then year two, most businesses fail. But yeah, like we're still around, doing great work. 16 years is a great like stint. Cliche, but it feels like we've only just started. But it's really exciting because just the world is evolving so much, and I really like the way that it evolves, and our clients have evolved, and the people. And it's great. I love the human stuff. You're speaking with people that are at the top of their game, leading big companies, leading big teams. And they're just, we're all evolving as much as we can. And I just love all of that stuff. And I'm proud to be working with some of the best companies on the planet. And it's really, really good fun.
Team.
And amazing. I hadn't even finished yet. And an incredible team. And yeah, like if you're happy and you're doing good stuff, and you've got a growth mindset and things, then, like I think you're in a good place. You've got to keep evolving. Nothing stays the same.
That's a good advice. Any other advice you want to give out to anybody who feels stuck, or they're just looking right now and thinking, what am I doing? How do I move forward? Especially to leaders, because it's quite lonely being at the top.
Yeah. So like a few things. So personal board of directors is really nice. So people that are just, they could be professional, personal, just people that you can like chat with and just be like, hey, how's it going? Are you finding it as bad as I'm finding it? Or are you finding it's good? Like just whatever. Because if you're in a difficult moment, it might feel that you're the only person or the only firm or whatever that's struggling. If you go speak to people that are also in the same boat, it gives you a bit of comfort.
And it doesn't have to be in the same industry.
It can be literally anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if it's in your industry, sometimes you need someone just to look like, working. It's like working on your business, not just in your business, because you get quite like sucked into all the stuff. Sometimes it's just nice to take a step back, look above the parapet, like what's actually going on. Because it might be like, oh, my industry's like, it's really bad. And it's like and you're like, well, how come? What's going on? What's like macro going on? What are those things that you can do that you can control? So it's a whole bunch of stuff, but you have to like actually spend time doing that.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting. And then go and try like every tool available. So back to AI or just any tech, like just go try stuff, invest like a week, maybe take a week holiday and just go and build an agent, or go try Claude agents or Perplexity Computer or ChatGPT stuff. I mean, just like go try stuff. Jump on YouTube. If you don't know how to do something, ask your favorite LLM. Like, there's literally no excuse. Or you can literally jump onto your favorite LLM, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, whatever, and be like, I'm taking a week off. I want to like be up to date with all the various tech agents, LLMs, or I've got no idea what an LLM means or what's an agent, and just go ask it. And you'd be like, give me like the top 10 things I need to learn this week. And then give me the top 10 things I should try. And then be like, well, how do I even try it? What do I even do?
Plan that out for me.
What do I even do?
Yeah.
And then literally you can be like, okay, let's say build this agent. They go to this website. Okay, so I don't even know what I'm looking at right now. So you can take a photo and you can put the screen, or take a screenshot, you can put it into your LLM and be like, what do I do now? And it will tell you. And you'd be like, okay, what do I do now? And it will tell you, what do I do now? Tell you. So like, there's no excuse, and it's really fun. And even just learning the terminology. So when you go have a chat, or you're going for a new job, and the people that you're interviewing with expect you to be utilizing like all of these AI tools in your job for whatever reason. And if you don't even know the difference between these different things, or the terminology, or even like to have a conversation, or even to ask them a question, like what tools are you using, or what LLMs are you using, or like, what's the story? Then it's game over.
How are you going to keep up?
It's game over. Yeah. You got to like just like, it's not even that you have to know like anything technical, really.
Yeah.
I don't know Python or C++ or whatever programming language. You don't need to know anything like that. You just need to be able to speak your native language or any language and be like, hey, like, I'm an executive search consultant. It's 2026, April. I want to like stay relevant. Like, what are the top 10 things I should be like learning right now? Or I'm a marketeer. What are the 10 things I should be doing like just today? Like, just, it's so easy.
I definitely think you need a time block for that, because you can be so consumed with all of this. And the next minute you know, it's like 4 p.m. talking to your one of your favorite.
You could literally be like, but you know,
balance that out. Yeah.
You got to diarize your 100%.
Yeah.
You got to like, it's like, but again, it's like any period in time. You've always got to be productive. You got to like, everyone does it differently. You can time block. I like to put stuff in my diary. So I put in things like, if it's like, learning about a new tech, or like, enhancing our one of our agents, because we're always like developing these agents. We're trying to make them a bit better and stuff like that. So if it's like, oh, I need to add another tool to our OpenClaw agent so it can do X, Y, Z. I put it in my diary. It's maybe going to take me half an hour. I'll put it in the diary a certain period. Otherwise, like anything, you just get sucked.
Yeah.
So you've got to be really, your time is something you never get back. But it's worth it.
Yeah.
So you might take off a day holiday. Like if you're at the start of your journey right now, you take off a day and you jump on. I mean, literally just do this. Hey, I've taken a day. I'm a search consultant. What are the top 10 things I need to do right now? And it'll be like, shh. And then you'll be like, oh my God. Okay, which one shall I start with? And it gives you one. You're like, how do I even learn about that? And then you say, write me 2 pages of like a learning report, a summary, exec summary. You can just, whatever you want, but you can just use it as your personal learning assistant.
I love that.
And you just go, deep, or you just go broad. Just what the basics I need to know just to have a decent conversation with someone. Or what's like the basic thing I need to do to make myself a little bit more productive tomorrow. And it will tell you.
Aside from using all the LLMs, like you speak about time a lot, you say that's time you don't even get back. How do you, and this is going to be my final question, how do you balance it all? Because you're a CEO, you're also, doing a lot of like client facing roles, speaking to the team a lot, family stuff, and then you time, and now speaking to your LLMs. How do you kind of like plan your whole weekday? What time do you even wake up? Do you feel like I need to get everything done like ASAP? Like, how do you manage that without going crazy?
Well, I think firstly you have to accept that not every day is a productive day.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'm like really productive, absolutely killed it. Like I've I spent time with everyone I want to spend time with. I've like we're on maybe lots of searches, I'm interviewing people. So the types of activities that I do, obviously like ebbs and flows. So, I'm leading searches with my team. I'm interviewing candidates. I'm speaking with new clients. I'm on pitches. So you have to also accept that like you're only human. And, sometimes you have low energy. Sometimes you're more higher energy. So, like you have to you can't beat yourself up about it. So if you've got that as a baseline, sometimes I'm really productive, sometimes I'm not. And you know it yourself. You can feel it, right? Sometimes you're just on fire and you're really productive. Other times, maybe you've been distracted by your phone and you've like jumped down a rabbit hole or something, or you're watching YouTube, or you're on your LLM and you're like, oh, I was supposed to spend half an hour on that. And like, suddenly it's 2 hours. And you're like, oh. So, you just have to be like human about it. No one's perfect. And then I always plan my day the day before. I've got I diarise a lot of stuff, time block. I've got a tasks list. So I've got it. I like to be. It's nice to have it all written down and stuff, and it keeps you on track. And then my work ebbs and flows. So I've got certain things that are like high impact tasks. So like when you're leading a business, obviously you want to be making sure that your team have everything they need, that you're winning more work, that you're servicing your customers. They're the high impact stuff. And then you want to keep your battery full at all times. You can work really hard. And some people talk about working smart and whatever, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But you got to I like the exercise stuff. I diarise like usually an hour a day. I'm doing like 5 or 6 days a week of CrossFit or whatever it is. You should whack it in your diary. Most important meeting of the day, but put it in. Or even if you're just going for a walk, walking's great too. So make sure you do that. Treat yourself like a pro athlete. Eat well. If you're eating shit, you're not feeling good. Affects your mood, affects your energy levels. You get a glazed over look at like 3 p.m., staring at your computer. So just like step away, go for a walk, drown out the noise, cleanse your social media feed. If it's all negativity, you're going to have a bit of a negative view on the world. That affects your mindset. That will affect your day. If you have a bad day, it affects your week. If you have a bad week, it affects your month. If you have a bad month, it affects your year. So be careful who you surround yourself with, people, what you're consuming digitally. And that's it. You can manage your stuff. Spend time with friends, family. Basic stuff.
Basic stuff.